Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's up, Triple G? What's up, Keith? Hope you guys had a great long holiday weekend. Hope everyone's having a great Easter. I'm gonna try and keep this short, concise, and sweet today. I don't want to go over longer than what we have to. Just want to make sure that we cover all the good stuff. Give everyone just a couple more minutes to jump in here. What up, Supreme? Alright, cool. So, let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. Those of you that are here on time, I want to make sure we're promptly on time with you guys. This is being recorded, so if you guys do have to drop, we can always... you guys can always come back and watch this on the YouTube channel. So, let's go ahead and talk about kind of what's been going on in the markets, what we have going on this week. I did update the economic calendar channel in the Discord, so you guys can check that out. From an economic calendar perspective, we do have data at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, so we'll want to be careful of that. We also have core CPI on Wednesday, CPI year over year as well. And then we have PPI on Thursday. Friday is retail sales, and then we also have big bank earnings on Friday, which I think can give us some indication of maybe where the markets are potentially headed. So we'll be watching that. What's up, Tom? We'll be watching that this week. Earnings season, usually gives us some nice range expansion, typically, I should say, on those individual names. So we'll look to at some of those individual names and the ETFs as those bank earnings are released. I'm not expecting them to be great, but then again, we could be surprised. So let's just see what happens there. So this chart here is QQQ. I want to start here because this is a name that I've been kind of talking about for the last couple weeks, and this is the 4-hour chart here without extended hours on. So you guys can see clearly kind of what this looks like here in the terms of a wedge pattern that kind of played out here. So we kind of lost the wedge a little bit, but held that 306.37 level. The next day we gapped up, tested the top of this wedge, and then pushed higher towards that 321 level. So Tom and Darth kind of talked about potential pullbacks in SPY and QQQ, and I don't think that they're wrong. I think this is just a big inflection point that we're at here on QQQ. I do think we ultimately break back down on the Qs, but as you can see here, if we can hold this area, this 320 area, and push up over this, we really don't have a lot of resistance until we hit 331. As you can see here, as we look back on the chart, the last time, this is the 4-hour chart again, like we might catch a little bit of resistance here at 322. But for me personally, it's that upper band target. Once we get over that 326.50 level, I'm really looking for 331 as a big level there. And I'm going to mark this here just so you guys can see this, how I'm marking my levels. Let's go up here. Let me show you why. This is the 4-hour chart, and we are back here in August of 2022. Now, the reason I marked this was because this is an area that we gapped down from. You can see here we have some wicks to play with on the 4-hour, and you guys know how I like to make my levels. Typically, I'm making them on the candles, not on the actual wicks themselves, because the candle bodies are more, what's the right word I'm looking for here? They're more inclusive to me for price action versus the wicks, because the wicks tell me that price tried to push up over this level, and it ultimately couldn't. We fall down. We pushed right up to this level. We based at this level and pushed higher all the way up to that 331. And you guys know I'd like to trade level to level, so I'm always looking for key pivot points on the chart of areas where we go to that kind of lead us to that next level. Well, here's one here, and then when we broke this level, we fell all the way down. back in August, we fell all the way down here, right? So fell all the way down. So that's kind of like, this is the key area that, you know, that I like here, 326.64, once we break over 320. So as we come back over here, let me zoom out a little bit and come back to current times. Once we get over this 321 area on the 4 hour, I would expect that QQQ probably goes and grabs that 326.64 area. This is a big level for us right here, this 321 level. That's going to be pretty big. We have to get over that level in order to get, you know, that 326.64. But QQQ is one that I'm going to be watching. Let's go over into SPY. Talked about Qs for a lot here. I've got a lot of levels on SPY, so bear with me. I don't want to take these levels off because these levels have been, you know, pretty butter intraday that we've played off of. But this is a big spot. You know, one thing that I'm looking at now here on SPY on the 4 hour, I'm going to make this line thicker. And I'm going to color it. Let's color it purple. Okay. Rejection, rejection, break up through, bounce off that same level at 406. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, this is it. We're going to 420 on SPY. We're going to go up here and test these local highs at 416 that we had back in February. But what I am saying is that this is a big spot here, because we had two rejections, one rejection, two rejection, and then we pushed up through it. Now we came back down and retested it twice on the 4 hour. And if we zoom in here, right, we can see how well it was respected on Monday. Let's go into the 15-minute here. You guys know I like my 15-minute levels, right? So now we're on the 15-minute SPY on the same chart, but you can see bounce, bounce. So double bottom bounce the last 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, but we also know this is a big daily pivot level at 406. So what I'm looking for is we move back out to the 4 hour and turn off the extended because that gives me a headache. What I'm looking for here is a move over this 411 area. I'm looking for a 4 hour close over 411. Then I think we ultimately see 413. If we get a 4 hour close over 413, then I think we see 417.55. That's kind of what I'm looking for. That's my next level to the upside that I have. And that's what I'll be watching. Now, it's all going to depend on what happens, you know, obviously tomorrow with price action. So we'll need to see what happens there. But I wanted to give you guys my levels that I have and what I'll be looking for from a price action perspective. If this happens, then I'm doing this, right? If this happens, I'm doing that. If that happens, I'm doing this. You always want to have those scenarios in your head, right? If 406 breaks, I'm going to look for a nice short trade to the downside, right? And potentially a swing trade. Because if you look at the 4 hour, every time we've lost this 406 area, we've rejected 406, we've gotten a pretty nice move down with increased volume, right? Increased volume, move down. Reject, increased volume, move down. Okay, so we want to watch volume. If we break 406 to the downside, it could be a nice trade for us. And like I said, it does look like this is a rejection, rejection, breakthrough, right? So resistance, resistance, support flip, right? We break through resistance, we come back down, and we bounce a support, looking for a potential move up here over 411 and up to 415. That's what I'm looking for personally, but again, we'll let price action kind of tell us what happens here. Now let's go to a name like Google. This is a really interesting setup to me on Google. I have not touched this chart since we've traded Google on this trend line, but it held this trend line very, very well in the 4 hour. This is the 4 hour chart that we're looking at here. One bounce, two bounce, three bounce, all the way up into supply, all the way down into this consolidating falling wedge, all the way up, right? So we go from $89 a share to 96. We come back down, we bounce at the same 4 hour trend line, we push all the way up into supply. Come back down, bounce at 130, we push up into supply, and now we're at the top band of supply. So what I'm looking for now, and again, here's a good reason why you guys see I like to use candle bodies and not wicks. Let me zoom in and show you. Here's the 4 hour candle. This is what I put my supply zone in, right? So my supply zone really goes from 106.88 to 108.88. It's a $2 supply zone, okay? So as I go over here, you guys can see how well respected this supply zone was at 108.90. Right? That's kind of where we closed at. 108.88 is the level that I have. So what I'm looking for now is a potential move out of this, and I apologize, guys. My allergies are getting the best of me right now. Pollen is crazy, going crazy on me. What I'm looking for is a potential move out of this zone. So this is the 4 hour, right? 4 hours shows me that we have room up to 116.22. Now let me show you something else that's interesting. If we go to the weekly chart, okay, and I put a level, if I put this level here, let me again change the color purple and make this bigger on the weekly and show you guys what could potentially be happening. That is our first weekly candle close over 106 since September 9th of 2022. Okay, so this is a big spot here. This is why I'm looking for a move up to 116 on Google now this week. If we can't hold 106, then I think we fall right back down into this channel. And if we do start this channel, one thing that I'm potentially looking for is, let me show you what we could be setting up here. Right, we could be setting up this trend line. And I'll color it orange. We'll go this way with it, right? So you see here, in this trend line, okay, we could just be setting up a parallel trend line here, is what we could be doing on Google. But I think that we're breaking out on the weekly, and I think we're going to go test this 116 level. So for me, what I'm watching Meta tomorrow, I'm going to watch to see, do we hold 106.60, ultimately the bottom of the supply zone? Let's go into the 15-minute chart. Let's go into Friday. Okay, you can see as soon as we got through supply, 15-minute gave us a big buyer exhaustion candle. We came back down and we held out around the top area of supply, okay? So tomorrow morning, if we do gap up, I'm looking to see, are we going to hold supply? Are we going to fall back down into supply? I don't want to trade supply because I don't know where we're going to bounce in supply. I want to see that this is now maybe demand and we bounce from this area here and go up, right, to the 116 level that we have all the way up here. So that's what I'll be watching tomorrow on Google. Let's look at Meta. Meta was an absolute banger of a call on Thursday. These contracts went about 1,800% on Meta. Some people got better entries than I did on the 212.50s, but this is an example of trading level to level. I don't want to go over this too much because I did a whole video review on this, so if you guys haven't seen that yet, take a look at that. It's on the YouTube channel. It's on my Twitter as well. So take a look at that if you guys want to see how that works, how I found the play and how I went level to level with it. But essentially, Meta is trading its levels really, really well. Now, one thing I've been noticing, which I haven't really been too vocal about, I maybe talked about it a little bit in the room, but if you guys remember in Q4, Tesla to the downside and Netflix level to level was kind of like they were the names that were trading really well. There was a period of 2 weeks where UPST was trading its levels really, 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 really well. What I'm seeing is that sometimes there are rotations in and out of names that trade their levels really well, and then sometimes they fall into chop. So like if we look at a name like UPST, let's go to UPST real quick and we'll come right back to Meta. Well, UPST hit its upper band level when it broke up here. But for a while, right, UPST was just kind of like consolidating sideways. I don't know if the daily will show us anything here. Let's see. Bear with me 1 second here. Hope I'm not making anyone sick doing this. We just kind of consolidated, right? Consolidate. Now we're starting to bottom here on UPST. Kind of maybe double bottoming here at this area, this 1273 area. UPST's actually had some nice momentum in it. I'm just now seeing this daily chart. So it's trading its levels really well now. But for a while, it was just it was choppy all over the place. But Meta, for the last week or so, we've been playing Meta super, super clean. We've been playing it really, really well, really ever since that post-earnings gap. And again, I'll go back to this again, but you guys, swing traders, this is how they make their money. Post-earnings gap up, we consolidate into a falling wedge. This is February 27th. Price closed at 169.54, and we hit 216.94 on Thursday. So falling wedge, bullish setup, and Meta has just been, on a steady climb ever since. You can see what it does when it wedges on Meta. When we start to get consolidation on Meta, it goes pretty nice. So Meta is one that I still really, really like. Year to date, we're up almost about to be $100 a share, so about 50% on Meta. year to date. So it's traded its levels really, really well. And so I wanted to hit on this one specifically on the 15 minute, because if we can open up tomorrow and hold this 216 level, I think we get that 218 level. And then over 218, I've got 223.46 is the number that I'll be looking at to the upside. Okay, so that's Meta. Let's look at Netflix, because this is a one too that has some call flow that came in on Netflix. I posted about this on Twitter. The call flow, I think, let's look real quick, but I think it's 43 days out. So I'm just going back now and looking. Yeah, 385 calls on Meta. April 28th expiration, 492K. So about 500K. And sorry, these are not 40 days out. These are actually about 20 days out now. 385 calls on Netflix. So looking for something massive to happen with Netflix this week, especially if growth names keep going. But you guys can see the next upside level that I have over this 351 here is going to be 373. And if that happens, these 385s for April 28th are probably going to go ballistic. But again, let's go out to the 4 hour. Let's take off extended and let's zoom in and let me show you something that I saw here. Okay, you guys ready? Resistance on this yellow line, right? Resistance, couldn't get over. Then support, support, breakdown. Okay, so resistance now, resistance, resistance, break up, support. Last time we were under this level, we came back up and tested it as support, which we did here. Okay, we were under, we broke up, we came down, and we actually touched this line as support, which is what we did here. We broke up, we pushed up, we came back down, touched the line as support. We got an explosive move, and you guys see how big this move was intraday. This was a 5% day on Netflix, right? Ultimately going back up and touching, you know, that 380 area basically, and these whales loaded 385 calls. Now, it might not be nothing, but it might be something, and that's kind of what I'm thinking here on Netflix. I'm looking for a massive move on Netflix potentially based on that support resistance flip. I saw Keon post the flow about this one. He posted it, when did he post this? On the 5th, 4 days ago. And then on Thursday, I replied back and showed how we were actually hammering, right? We're getting a hammer candle here, a downtrend and a hammer candle, right? That's what we get. Downtrend, hammer candle. Now we're looking for this to potentially moon off this. So over 350, Netflix is hot all the way up, in my eyes, all the way to at least 361, above that 373. So Netflix is going to be on watch for me all week this week, just knowing that that whale has 500K worth of 385 calls that are expiring in about 20 days now. Okay, so that's Netflix. And again, sorry guys, I've got this allergies they're a hell of a thing in the spring. Let's look at DraftKings now. This is one more that I want to show you guys tonight. And let's look at the daily. Okay, so immediately what I see is expansion, right? I see expansion into consolidation. Okay, so I'm going to mark them here. And I'm going to mark here. Let's just make that, yeah, let's just make that even there, okay? So, big expansion, right? All the way from, what is this here? We're at $15 a share up to about $21 a share. Now we're at, $19 a share down to 17. So this tells me that buyers are consolidating this name on the daily chart, right? Looking for a big move out. Now, whether we break upside or downside, yet to be determined. But if we break upside, I'm already looking here. This is a level that I'm going to be watching basically right in here. Oh, oops, sorry. Horizontal line is what I wanted. Right in there, okay? And we can see that this level historically has been a level that we played off of, right? Rejection, rejection, rejection. Okay, so if we break up out of this, I'm looking for a move over 2083, And ultimately, right, I'm going to be looking for a move up here, right about there, okay, on the daily. Going even further back, we could probably move this down just a little bit here. Really good level, right? Back in 2020, May of 2020, this was a massive key level for DraftKings. Pushed up over this level and held it, right? Well, like I say, the way buyers and sellers react in the past is truly indicative of how they're going to act in the future. We come down to this level, we break down through it, we come all the way down, we push back up to that same level, come down, push up, come down, push up, right? So reject, 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 reject. Okay? So naturally, if we get over this 2083 level on DraftKings, I will be looking for 2355. Okay? So I'm looking for this to break here to push here. Right? So I'm looking for this move right here. Okay? That's what I'm looking for on DraftKings. Okay? Break this wedge, push up to 2083, and then get 2355. Okay, so I just wanted to show this daily chart to you guys. It's coiled, it's ready to go. I do think it will go at some point, and so that's kind of what I'm watching, what I'm going to be watching in the coming week on DraftKings. Now, the reason I kind of like DraftKings is because it is a growth name, and when you look at the growth sector, actually, Affirm's not a good one to look at. Let's look at Roblox. Okay, Roblox, I don't know what this was here. Roblox is also coming to an interesting inflection point, right? And this is another one that we can talk about. We can also look at this trend line that Roblox has formed. A beautiful trend line. I mean, you can't get much more beautiful than that on the daily. Just come down, bounce up, bounce up, bounce. You know what I mean? So when this breaks, that'll be a nice short. But looking at this, what I see here is rejections, right? And if I color these a different color, it might be easier for you guys to see them. Let's put them orange. Oh, oops. This is what I'm looking for, orange. Just so I can illustrate this a little bit clearly for you guys, right? So key level spot, if we go back left on the chart, I'm sure we have some daily resist. Yeah, bounce, 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 reject, push down, okay? Get over this, all the way up, get a big, big shooting star candle on an uptrend on Roblox. Subsequently, what do? If you keep your stop loss, again, this is how swingers make their money. Daily candle, big shooting star, blow off top. Stop loss is a move above that day's high. We never get it, and we fall all the way down, right? We fall all the way down, and then you finally get a hammer candle here off of a key level, and you can sell out of your long-dated contracts. But you get that move, right, all the way from wherever you get this from, $51, all the way down to $35, right, in about a month, which is a massive move on a name like DraftKings. But that's how swingers make their money. They sell at key levels, especially when we get a massive daily hammer candle at a key level. We push back up into that supply zone. We reject. Come back down to that key level, right? Push back up into that supply zone. Here's another blow off top candle right here. Okay, another shooting star candle right here on Roblox. What happens? This is October 26th. On November 9th, we go from all the way to a daily high of 47.67 to a low of 30.68. So a $17 move down in about 2 weeks' time. Okay? So naturally, as we're coming back up to this level, looking for this to break down. Okay, now we didn't get a massive shooting star candle like we got prior on Roblox. I wouldn't call that a shooting star. We did get a push over that area, but we ultimately held that. Now, what I'll say is that if we can't get a daily candle close over 46.92, Roblox short could be a really nice swing opportunity back down to this trend line, trimming some at this trend line, and then letting the rest run in the event that we come all the way back down to this key level here or all the way down to 35. Okay, so it could be a $10 move down, but this could be a swing potential here. I'm going to post these in the swing idea floor tonight But I just want you guys to be able to ultimately see that. So now that I've kind of reviewed some of the top trades that I'm going to be looking at this week. One more that I wanted to show you guys. J&J. I just want to talk about the relative strength on J&J. This is the daily chart. I was asked to put some levels on the chart, and I did put some levels on it. And amazingly enough, these levels played out perfectly. Let's turn on extended. Let me show you what I mean. I was asked to put levels on this chart, and crazy, right? We come all the way up to this level here last week on Monday, and then on Tuesday we open up right at this level. We push all the way up. Contracts went absolutely ballistic because we go from 156, push all the way up. We get the next level the very next morning, right? 164. We push up through that at the end of the day. Come back up, get a hammer candle on the 5 minute at that 164 level, and then we have a nice uptrend here, and then we start selling off at the end of the day. Yep, all the way back to that same level, 164.95. So I don't trade J&J that much, but what I'll say is that it's trading its levels really, really well that I've identified on this chart. And so keep that in mind, because if we can hold this 164.95 level, 168 is next on J&J. Ultimately, we could see a move all the way back up to 178 on J&J. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put this level up here. And again, these key levels, buyers and sellers, this is all the way back in April of 2022. But if we look at the last 3 times we touched this level, rejection, January 6th, 2023, rejection, December 14th, 2022, rejection, December 6th, 2022, rejection, and then June 28th and June 27th and June 24th, rejection at this key level, right? Reject, 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 reject. So if we get over 168, I am looking for a move up to 178.99, 179 level, and that will be a potential rejection area. So that's really all I've got for you guys today. I know we only spent about 30 minutes on it, but I wanted to open up the floor for you guys to maybe chart some levels on some different names that you're looking at. We can take a look at them. So I will open up the YouTube chat link here, or I guess it is open. I'll peruse that, and if you guys have any levels of names that you want to look at, drop them down there, and I'll pick up some of these for the next 15 minutes, and we'll go over some levels. Tesla. Let's look at Tesla first, then we'll go to Roku, then we'll go to Disney. Oh my God, Tesla. I've got so many levels on Tesla. Okay. Sorry, guys. I've got a lot of levels on Tesla that I haven't really taken off yet. We probably could take some of these off, but I haven't taken them off yet. So as I look at Tesla, we do have overhead supply, but this isn't as clean of a chart as what I'd like to see on Tesla. The one thing that I do note here on the 4-hour chart is that we do have a potential trend setting up here where we bounced off of a key level to the 184 level. So naturally, I'm looking for a move back up to this yellow line at 196.65. Tesla, for me, I like trading Tesla. We saw some big sells come through on Tesla. It's been relatively weak, I'd say, compared to most of the market. So Tesla, for me, the big key is getting back over 200 on Tesla, 196.65 to 200. That's going to be the key for me. Once we get over that, I think we can make a push back up here towards this 210 line, and then over 210, really 218.24. We came close to it. We came up to 217.65. So I don't see like an actual setup. Like I don't see like a wedge forming here. I don't see price compaction, so to say. The one thing that you could say is like that we do have like a broadening wedge channel potentially forming. I just feel like with Tesla here, like what I'm basically trying to make something look like something it's maybe not. So I don't like Tesla for like a daily setup right now. But knowing that we are over this big level, last time we held this level again, we popped all the way to 196. Okay, and when we got over 196 and held, we rejected, came back down. But when we got over with big volume, we made a move all the way up to like 207, whatever that is there, 207.79. So that's Tesla. Sorry for all the levels there. Let's look at Roku. I don't know that I have a ton of levels on Roku. Yeah, I don't have a ton here. But interesting chart. You know, we are in some consolidation here on Roku. One thing I'll say is, like, as we look here on the 4 hour, you know, a move over this probably looks decent. The 66.41 level. Rejection. Shooting star candle again, guys. Look here. Blow off top candle. Uptrend, blow off top, all the way back down. Okay, risking a candle close above this level, short all the way back down. But we've just been in this channel for a while, it looks like. You know, you could probably make a mark somewhere down here as well. But really, this is the key level for me as I look at Roku. That's the key spot that we have to get over. I actually like this name over this level. So what I'm going to do with Netflix getting the call flow, this level for me is 66.41. I'm going to set a trigger at 66. So I'm going to create an alert at 66 on Roku when price is above 66. Yeah, 66. Okay. The reason I'm doing that is because when we come back up here, I want to see how we react to this level. It could be a nice move over that level. Let me just see what the daily looks like on Roku, though. Yeah, Roku's consolidating for a pretty big move here. This is where we could see a little bit of consolidation, right? Like, as we go out here, we can see this trend kind of holding. And then we can also see, like, potentially something like this going on Roku. It's not the perfect, you know, it's not perfect by any means. The bottom trend line is a little more perfect, I'd say, than that top trend line. But this trend line is holding relatively well, right? So if I just make this orange like I did with the Google trend line, you can see like we're holding this trend line pretty well ever since we've gotten here. So trend line holding. If we can get over 66.41, Roku could be, you know, pretty nice move to the upside here, especially with that crazy call flow on the 385s on Netflix. Sunil, let's take a look at Disney. Okay, this is the daily chart on Disney. So we do have some consolidation here off the bat. Immediately, what I'm looking at is this consolidation right here. Okay, so we've made a move up, and we're consolidating. And it's no coincidence that we're consolidating at a prior area that we've consolidated at before. Let's see if I just put a level here. I just want to see what this looks like on the daily. Bounce, bounce, bounce. If we go further back. Okay, so now we're back into 2020 now. But we did hold this level here back in 2020, that 123. Probably because it's close to a $100 psych level. But you can see Disney trades relatively well. When we break that 123, we typically come down here to the $91 level, right? Break, come down. Break, come down. Break, come down. Reject, come down. Get over this 124. Or sorry, get over the 91.24. Push up to the 123. Okay, reject 123. Come down to 91.24. So, if we can get over 123 on Disney, then I do see a potential move on Disney now up to this next level here. Okay, 108.82. But yes, Sunil, I don't know that it's a squeeze candidate. I have to look more into that. What I'll say is that we are consolidating for a massive move here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rejections at that level. So if we go into like the 15-minute here, I bet we can see it. Yeah, we can see it here. Okay. We come up to that at the end of the day on March 31st, reject. On Monday, reject. Tuesday, we open, we reject. Wednesday, we come close to it, we reject. Friday, we come all the way up to it, we reject, okay? So this is a big spot on the daily because we've been bouncing off that level as a rejection spot. But if we do clear that eventually, I think we could see a nice push up to 108.82 relatively quickly. Let's look at SQ. Here's SQ. You guys see we have a wedge here that we played. Out of this wedge, again, swingers, this is where they make their money on these daily setups. Keep pounding the table on this, but massive daily wedge, break out and go. Massive blow off top candle. We push all the way back down. Okay, so it does have strength. SQ, but right now we're in between levels on SQ, as you guys can see. Big strength after that short report from Hindenburg. A lot of buying volume picked up. I still like SQ long term. If you guys are curious about my long term, like what I like long term, I still like SQ. I don't have a price target for it. I don't know where it's at, but knowing what SQ does, knowing how integrated SQ is as a company with their Square platform, with Cash App, because they do own Cash App, I think that Square is still a good long term name in the tech vertical. So for me, looking to play these upside levels on SQ, and they're right here. So if you guys want to take a screenshot of those, here's your SQ levels mark if you want those. I can post these in chat as well for you guys too. Can I take a look at Microsoft? Yeah, Microsoft's been a fun name to trade too. 4 hour on Microsoft. Talk about strength, right? So, classic. We saw this on QQQ. I showed you guys QQQ chart pattern. Let me go back to it real quick. Sorry, the daily chart pattern. Breakout over this key level, come back, retest it, and go, right? Now let's look at Microsoft. Daily. Breakout over this key level, 281.50. Reject here at 289.64, come back down, bounce and go. And now, we're at 292.08 is where we hit the high at on Friday. So this is a big spot. 292 is the high here. Back in August of 2022. So we're right back here, right? So is this a double top? I don't know, right? No clue. Let me just put these here to show you guys. Could it be a double top? Yes. But if it's not, Microsoft, I think, has room all the way up to 312. I think we break up through 294 and we get 300 first, right? Right about here is where we're going to get 300, 331, and then we get 312, 313 to the upside. So that's what I'll be looking at. Sunil said daily bull flag on SQ. Yeah, actually, I do kind of see that, Sunil. You could say that. Yeah, that's a good eye, Sunil. Actually, we could probably say that's a bull flag. Yeah, I'd say that definitely is a bull flag. Good eye there. Great catch on that. Sorry, I didn't catch that before. But that is a good point there. Again, for me, like over that bull flag, I guess, but over 70.41, I think that it could get explosive with the earnings. Let's see. Bud, Anheuser, Busch. We can look at Bud. I don't trade Bud. But talk about being overextended. Let's look at the weekly. Oh, this could be nice. Yeah, this could be really nice on Bud. Look at how well this trend line's been, or this horizontal support line's been respected, right? Going all the way back to 2012. Pop through it, hold, go. Okay, here's 2016. They had some negative, something going on there. Where's 2020? Here's the 2020. Here's COVID drop, right? Breakdown through this level, but you can see Bud is a level that this level has been 67.19. The key level here has been respected really well. Rejection, fall. push back up, break down through it, fall, hold it, push, reject, 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 maybe, right? But if we break over this, certainly, you know, it looks like we do have room up on Bud to about $75, potentially $81 mark here. Seems like an obvious short to me, with the risk being over that 67.19 level. So great catch there on that one, JH. Going back to the daily, you know, we can see here, this one has times where it likes to gap down. I mean, look how much this thing gapped down overnight. You know, closed at 65, opened at 61. So imagine getting a gap down off of that level there. That would be pretty nice. But we need to see, right? Because we do have an uptrend and we're consolidating. And just like we talked about on SQ, just like we talked about on some of those other names, like this could be a potential flag consolidation here, right? We could just be consolidating underneath of a level waiting for a breakout. But what I'll say is that we did get a candle close on the daily below this consolidation range, right? The range that if we do this candle body to candle body, let me show you what this looks like on the 15-minute. Let's take extended hours off. Okay, so we were in here, in here, in here, in here. We got a candle close below. If we lose this level, you know, it could be a really nice move back down to 65. And you can see where we have these gaps on the 15-minute. Those are the gap ups. So we could have some nice gap downs on Bud. Oh, what's up, Sir Sigma? Dow, what's up, brother? Let's look at Uber real quick. That'll probably be my last one for the night. I won't be live trading with you guys tomorrow morning. I'm going to be on a flight to Houston tomorrow, so I won't be live trading with you guys. But I'm going to post kind of the things that I'm watching, and you guys have this from the Sunday scan as well, so I'll post the thesis behind some of these plays tomorrow. I'll be back on the screens on Tuesday, though. Uber. What do we got? Initial thought on Uber is this. This is the initial thought on Uber here. Again, range expansion, right? 26.37. We're starting to get tighter in this range. It's not perfect on the daily. On the weekly, same thing though, right? We can see the same setup on the weekly. I just want to see if we had something similar happen on the weekly like this. 2020. No, nothing really on the weekly. But this is, I mean, this is a great setup, though, I think. Potential for a long swing here. Growth names are starting to go. You know, we did see UPST. Saw some of those other growth names like Roblox. Uber is a growth name as well. A lot of it's going to be dependent on what happens with core CPI and PPI, I think, this week. But I definitely like the technical setup here of a wedge play pattern on the daily. We're getting very, very tight, so we're getting ready for a big move down. You know, big move up or down. Obviously, my price target levels, there was some massive volume here. I don't know what that is, or maybe not massive volume, but just massive move there. Yeah, I don't know what that was. But took us all the way from 25 to 31. But what I'd be looking for here is like a breakdown. You know, if we break down, I'm probably looking for this level here. Right around 26.40 to hold to about 25.72. To the upside, I'd be looking for that key level there. Probably looking at this level first, simply because this is a rejection spot on the daily. Reject here, right? If I just put this line here, it's not going to make sense because we have some trading in between here, but this is a level up that I would look at. Reject. If we break out of this wedge, look for a move right up to this level. Potential rejection. If we don't reject, then we get 37.16. That's what I'm looking at on Uber. Appreciate the question, Dow, or the ticker. That's a good one. All right, guys. So we've been on here for about 45 minutes. I kind of gave my watch list of the things that I'm going to be watching this week. I got to take some charts from you guys and some setups that I actually didn't have that I'm going to have on my screens now. The last thing I'll show you real quick is going to be Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still consolidating on the daily, guys. We talk about consolidation at key levels. I'm looking for a breakout of this consolidation because now it's a weekly consolidation, right? And you guys can see what happens when we break up over this 28 level. We get 31,905 or 32K on Bitcoin. Over that, we could see, you know, a nice move up into the 40s area. But yeah, this is a big spot on Bitcoin. When we rejected it last time, right? We came up to it last time, or the last time we were at this level, we held it, and then we finally gave it up and then fell all the way down to 18K. So this is a huge level. If we break out on the daily, Bitcoin, I do think, is going to make its march to 32 or 33K. And if we get that, then I think names like Mara, which we've been watching, right on this 4 hour, if we get over this $9.18 mark, Mara, I think, has room all the way up to 13.18 and 14.80. So just wanted to put that in the back of your guys' mind. Just make sure you guys are watching Bitcoin as well throughout all of this, with the growth names potentially starting to go. So that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you guys being on here. Thanks for all the tickers per usual. Hopefully the watch list helped you guys out. I got you. Trading is easy. Appreciate you guys for the safe flight tomorrow. I'll be back with you guys Tuesday morning trading live. I'm just going to be on the flight tomorrow morning, so hopefully you guys kill it. I will post my trade ideas. If I have Wi-Fi, I'll try and post some ideas or setups that I'm watching. I should have Wi-Fi. I just don't know how good it's going to be, you know, watching the charts, but I'll try and post ideas as I see them. I just probably won't be on voice due to the Wi-Fi issues. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for being on here tonight. And any questions, drop them in the Discord, and I'll get them as I see them. I will talk to you guys tomorrow afternoon potentially, and then I will talk to you the rest of the week. I'll be on voice on Tuesday. Let's get after it, guys, and be smart this week. Think we'll see a little bit of sideways action until PPI, CPI, and then bank earnings at the end of the week should set off some fireworks for us in the market for some nice moves next week. So have a good night, guys. I will talk to you soon. Peace out.